Hi guys, hope you all are doing well and had a good day in the market. The disclaimer, as always, right? Pause it, read every single word till the end, and we are a SEBI registered research analyst, right? Excellent. So, what did we analyze yesterday? Let me open that thumbnail. So, we basically said that we are looking at a possibility of a gap up tomorrow. And we went through all the reasons, right? Price being bullish, and about 25 655 we are going to remain bullish, and these were the targets that we arrived at, right? Which is 25 718, 25 868, and 25 917. So if I look at what the markets did, look at that, right? The market went all the way up to 25 935, and we saw that selling, and it was a beautiful fantastic day right from this low in here, right? Which is where what we had analyzed on the weekend analysis. So fantastic, right? So if you would like to analyze like how we do check the training. I mean, I keep getting questions. I can tell you this is going to be your one-time investment, right? And I also wanted to bring out on the mentoring part, right? Especially if you're a fund manager, an investment banker, and or an HNI, do reach out because I'm getting some interest around it, and I'm trying to form a small group, right? Especially the fund managers, investment bankers, and the HNIs. And if you want to trade along with us, I think you should absolutely look at the recommendation services, right? That's right in the description box below, and drop me an email. When you send an email, do include all the description, right? Make it as meaningful as possible in terms of what are you interested in. Include your phone number. I'm getting very vague emails, right? Which is not adding much value, right? So that's that. I think fantastic day. But with that said, now let's take a step back and look at the possibilities for tomorrow, right? So Nifty, we had three white horses, and then boom, a gap up and a doji, something that we anticipated, because typically when a large gap up happens, there has to be some consolidation or a dip before the rally resumes. So this is the markets are still on. It's 328. This is basically a doji. Absolutely no reason to be bearish, right? One of the things that we discussed is, can this be a possible island reversal, right? Because the body is not touching any part of the body, or the price is not touching the high of yesterday. That is still open, right? But yeah, price continues to be bullish. So tomorrow's opening, if it opens below today's low, which is 25 782, this will validate as an island reversal, right? Pay attention, because I think I'm going to touch on a lot of possibilities for tomorrow, right? So that's that. And if I recall, this is something that we had talked on in the long-term analysis that we did, right? This is a cup and handle, right? So if you haven't watched the long-term analysis and or the weekend analysis, it is absolutely mandatory for you to do that, right? I keep repeating it because I think I keep getting the same questions again and again, which are already in here, right? So the long term is clearly bullish, and we spoke about this as a cup and handle, right? So we a breakout, a retest, and the larger trend resumes, right? That's on a larger time frame. But the question on the shorter time frame is, we had this bounce in here, and we bought this dip. Let me add volumes and RSI, right? For the ones who are new, this is a working session. We absolutely don't do any edits, so bear with us. So day time frame, on Nifty spot, the volume is respectable, right? In line with what we saw in the last 4 days. Looking at the future is no different. Looking at Bank Nifty, look at that. Bank Nifty had a reversal or a more bearish candle than Nifty. I anticipated personally Bank Nifty outperforming, but hey, that's what the market is all about, right? Possibilities, which one are you going to bet your money on, and ride it, right? Of course, the reward and risk varies depending on every single trade, right? But as long as you're in the right direction of the market, nothing like it, right? So price is bullish on the hourly. Clearly, we had a very lethargic market in here, and then at some point of time, there were divergences building up, right? We had this rising wedge is what made us cautious, right? So if you want the ability to analyze in the live market, I think you should definitely look at the training and try to be more independent, right? And or trade with us, right? So that's that. Price is not bearish. Clearly, we're still on buy on dips, but if the market opens below this, typically driven by any news, then there is a possibility of this becoming an island reversal, right? So price is bullish. Let's look at options data on Nifty. Change in OI, new week, 18th November, clearly bullish. 25,900 is a support, and 25,800 is a Bahubali support, right? This is change in OI, and we almost had almost 2.5:1 ratio to put to call writing. The overall open interest, clearly 25,800 is a big support, and 26,000 is a big resistance, right? And 25,900 seems to be a magnet. I was telling the folks earlier today, I'm more expecting a muted opening, and that's what it looks like looking at the price on doji and the options data in here, right? 25,900 is going to be a tug of war, and yeah, that's the options data. We need a dip, right? And now moving on to Elliott Wave, this can either be specifically for the students, right? We were looking at this as an impulsive wave, so this can be either or, because if I look at the projection in here, this is we did not project up to 161.8 percent, so this can be wave 3 evolving, right? Still 3 of 3 in here, and we could be unfolding wave 4. So if I make it this to primary, we could still be doing moving it this to the larger or smaller time frame. This could still be 3 of 3, and then 4 is evolving, and then we could be doing 3 up at a larger degree, right? But at the same time, if we look at the projection here and this lethargic wedge in here, this the possibility of this being an ABC cannot be ignored. So if it does a gap down, keeping this possibility as a corrective wave open, right? But at the end of the day, the price has to confirm, and or if it does a gap up tomorrow and then we see double, triple, or a triangle, we know that's wave 4, right? So taking it easy from here, light, because I keep repeating, position sizing is very, very important, right? You can't be riding your car at 100 miles an hour all the time. You need to slow down, pause it, take a break, and then restart fresh. So I think overall, we were ready to ride at 100 miles per hour here, and now it's time for me to slow down. I would be careful because I think scalpers market is this was more a positional, right? That we drove. Look at Nifty, right? Around 466 points. It can still do 530 points, but be very cautious here. Stay light and save your capital, right? That's the possibility. And the other possibility that may evolve is this channel, right? So as long as this high is not taken out, 25,934, I'm still will not be bullish, and even if I am, then I would be cautiously bullish, right? I'm going to bring that term back, and if you're following for a long time, you know what I mean, right? Cautiously bullish. So let's see what the market does, and if not, there is a possibility of this drag in here, right? This drag can happen. So that's pretty much on Nifty. Just checking on the future chart. Future has a similar pattern. Bank Nifty uh, is very interesting because if I take the day time frame, this is an area I was discussing earlier. is an area where we've got multiple rejections, right? Look at that, one, two, third time. So are we going to go come here and then boom? That's one of the possibilities that is definitely open. Which reminds me of another possibility on Nifty, right? Remember, that's what my job is in here, to paint all the possibilities and let you figure it out in the live market. And so this is a possibility that may or may not evolve, right? I don't want to be too premature in here, but just something that we discussed earlier. I wanted to be, sure I bring it up in here, right? So this is one of it that is definitely open. So coming back to Bank Nifty, this yes is a supply zone. The big question here is, can this also be a head and shoulder? If so, can it retrace all the way up to the neck and then boom? This is one of the possibilities that is definitely open, right? Which is the neck of this from a pattern standpoint. But remember, the success rate of head and shoulder is hardly 50%, right? And never to be using it in isolation, but in confluence with other indicators, right? Patterns in general are, not as reliable as price or the wave theory, right? Um, and our options data, which we connect during our analysis in here, right? So similar to Nifty, this is still open. Uh, Options data for Bank Nifty is not as clear as Nifty because it kept hanging all day. Right, look at the full day. The call unwinding happened. The put unwinding happened. Sorry, this is call unwinding, right? Once. Overall, more puts to calls, and this quantity is what keeps me worried on Bank Nifty, right? Such a low quantity, and then the overall open OI pretty much remains same that we saw yesterday and the day before, right? So nothing significant here in Bank Nifty or clear, unlike we saw that on Nifty, right? So the possibility of this hovering around in here similar to Nifty is very high. So overall price is bullish, no doubt there. Options data is also bullish on Nifty. Bank Nifty is unclear. But I think a dip and or a consolidation would be nice to have, right? Because we can't be moving in one single direction like the Diwali rocket and then fizzle out at the top. It is like the steps that we climb. So guys, that is all I had. If you like what we're doing, there's a lot of effort that goes behind it. Do hit the like button, click on that hype button, which YouTube now has it. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. And most importantly, I appreciate your views. So do comment your views on the market for tomorrow. Guys, that is all I had. Have a great rest of the evening. Cheers. Bye now.